Okay, it's going.
All right, let me at least show myself. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Yeah, so we'll keep it short and to the point. I have a little presentation that I made. It's only like a few slides to help guide our conversation today. But yeah, let's get that going. Share screen. Can I share screen, please?
Did that work?
Have it. Should. Yeah. All right. Give me a second. Okay. There we go. Cool. Can folks see my presentation? Awesome. Okay, so basically what I thought we would do today is just go over some information around the college and specifically geared toward TPAC and some upcoming changes that will be happening either this semester or next semester or over the course of the next year or so. How I can be a resource to you, maybe some tips and strategies that I have that I think would be beneficial during your time here. And that'll be it. So nothing too extensive because I always feel it's best to be concise. And then if folks have additional questions, we could just discuss those at the end or at some other time. So let me just go ahead and put present here. Okay, did that work? It's not working. There we go. Cool. So first of all, that's me. My name is Gabby Robles. I am currently a credential advisor. So I am working within the Teacher Preparation Advising Center here within the college. And I always like to give a little bit of background as to how I got here. So I grew up in Paramount all of my life, right? So I'm very familiar with the area. And I always think it's important to kind of know like your origins and your roots and what your community was growing up. And I feel like being in the Long Beach area definitely is informed by growing up in Paramount. So very familiar with the students that come to Cal State Long Beach and very passionate to help them, right? Because they're people that I've revolved myself with my entire life. So grew up in Paramount, went to Paramount High School. So I'm a pirate, right? Graduated there. And then I went on to college, and my background is in Chicano studies and a minor in Spanish. But it was through my Chicano and Chicana studies that I really began to acquire the language for education and like critical race theory and systems of oppression and culturally relevant pedagogy. So I think that's where that seed first started and really shaped what I was going to get into next, which was my master's program. So I actually came here to Cal State Long Beach for my master's program in education, specifically the social and cultural analysis education, which I think was just renamed to something else. It's like equity, education, and social justice, something like that, which that program definitely focuses on transformative education and critical pedagogies. So how we can inhabit these educational spaces and really transform them so that students can thrive and not just survive. So my schooling definitely stems from that background of, we don't need to live by the status quo. And how can we build these spaces so that they work for our students? And I think this is especially important in a space like Caminantes, where you are literally disrupting what the status quo of higher education looks like, right? You are all literally building a space in an institution that was not originally formed to serve students like yourselves, right? So I think that is really at the core of what Caminos was targeting and not what you are doing with Caminantes, and really saying like, we're here, we're trying to build a community space, we're trying to make folks feel welcome, which I think is something to really hold on to. And it's really important as part of not only my value system, but I think the value system of Caminantes as well, right? So for all of you who don't know, I used to be the academic coach for Caminos when it was still enacted as a grant-funded program. But I also continue to be your staff advisor now that you've moved on to a student organization. So I filled out my forms through ASI, right? It's official. I'm your staff advisor. And I am very dedicated to being that advocate you all need on the staff end when we need to make sure that things move in a way that keeps supporting you all. And then I have since then transitioned into my current position as a credential advisor. So on the education end, I can also support that way, right? On the academic end, I'm literally trained to help students with credentialing, any credentialing questions, which we'll get into in just a sec. But that's kind of my role, my positionality, and where I'm coming from in this role. So a lot of you may ask what TPAC is, right? So TPAC is a Teacher Preparation Advising Center located here just around the corner from Caminantes. So we're not too far from where you all are at, but I know sometimes we can exist close together and not even know who's there, right? So we're right around the corner. Please don't, hesitate to come see us. We're in EED 67. And this is basically what we have to offer. So we advise current and prospective credential students alongside with the liberal studies team. So the liberal studies team, they're undergraduate advising, but liberal studies is specifically geared towards folks going into elementary school teaching. So they go hand in hand with the multiple subject credential program, but we'll take on more of the credential questions. So credential questions that are specifically towards multiple subject, single subject, and ed specialist. So we see students all the time who are either already in liberal studies, or maybe their major is in a subject area like math or world languages, biology, right, from all across the university, and are thinking about coming into education or thinking about getting their credential. So we definitely see all those students too, because, it's better to start planning ahead of time. If you want to go into teaching and you're maybe in your sophomore year, junior year, definitely come talk to us so we can start thinking of options in terms of your pathway and what that'll look like along the line. So as of now, our advising modalities are sticking to phone advising and in-person advising, just because of the influx of the advising that we do and the amount of staff members that we have. We're not having appointments and we're not doing virtual, which we hope to incorporate at some point. But for now, we're just doing over the phone. So you can call us at that number on the screen, or you can come see us at EED 67. It's always good to kind of get that in-person advising. Or for those of you who just got to call us and don't want to make your way up the hill, that's totally fine as well. And we will do email advising as well. So if you can shoot us an email and we can definitely answer your questions that way. And for now, our hours are looking Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. We are closed for the lunch hour. We got to eat too. So 9 to 12 and 1 to 4, feel free to call us or come in. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but I keep saying for now, right? For now, this is what it looks like. And the reason for that is the college, we have a new official dean. They have a new vision for what the space that we're in now is going to be in the near future. So there's actually going to be quite a bit of changes where we're trying to reinvigorate that space and definitely turn it into more of a student engagement center, and possibly do more collaboration with Caminantes and student orgs as well, and bring all these entities that have been working separately and do like integration. So we are in the process of doing that. But in the meantime, you all can definitely just come on down if you ever have any questions, and we'd be more than happy to help you. I would also say check in with Alexis and Eric, any of your board members, for updates on those changes. And I would also even extend the invitation. We're actually having a meeting next Friday where we're all going to talk about these changes that are happening, and we would love student feedback. So this is a great opportunity where if you want your voice to be heard about what you want to see in the College of Ed, this is a perfect space to do that. Because I know a lot of the times it feels like decisions are made without the student voice or consultation. Well, this is it, right? We are opening up that meeting for students to come in and provide feedback to what they want to see in this space, what they believe would work or not work. So definitely, if you want more information, I already spoke to Alexis about it, so definitely reach out to her, and we can get you some more details on that. Okay. In addition to that, as part of the vision, right, we are definitely getting more peer mentors, right? So what does that mean? Peer mentors is we hire students who are either undergraduates or post-bac students already in the credential program to come work for us, right? And they provide credential support. They definitely foster community and they create content. They lead our social media. There's an administrative assistant component where right now we are training our students to basically run the front desk and answer phone calls and answer questions and delegate where calls are going and where students need to go for help. And we're hiring more. So if you all need a job, want a job, I would definitely encourage you to apply. You can scan the QR code to access the application. And if you want a position description, you can email me and I could send that over to you. We are looking for folks to work up to 20 hours a week. So you would get up to 20 hours worth of work. And let me say, when you work in our office, you definitely get the insight to everything that's happening. So you literally, in addition to learning all about the different credential programs and liberal studies and everything that goes on within the college, you can also just always ask us questions about your own career path, get advice, right? So it's a really place not only where you're going to learn a lot, but you're going to meet a lot of the people in the college, which it is never, I'm going to actually phrase it from an asset-based perspective. It is always a good idea to make connections and to meet people. So I would definitely say this is a great opportunity for you to become involved in the college and get paid to do it, right? So again, scan the QR code, share it. I know I also shared it with your coaches already. Please apply by next week so that we can do interviews and then we could get that process rolling, okay? This is a perfect segue into like my next screen. Alexis asked me to maybe do some like tips for success, and I've kind of split it up into two camps: academic and then professional and extracurricular. I do think that both of these work in conjunction with each other, but we'll kind of separate them a little bit. So on the academic end, I really think that the best or a huge tip for success is just to stay informed, right? Really know what's going on and stay on top of the information and like your deadlines, because the cases where things are like too late, it's like one semester before you graduate and you're trying to figure out some stuff. It's, I don't want to say it's too late, but it would cause you more stress, right? So one of my biggest tips is I know email sucks. And I know when I was a student, I was really awful at checking my email, but there's some really good information that comes through there. So I would say if you're not checking your email, maybe push yourself to check it once a week, right? And kind of just scroll through, see if there's any information, any emails from TPAC or your professors, because we're still in a space where emails are the main source of information, which I know we need to change. We need to be more creative about that. But as of now, that's like the biggest channel where information is funneled through, right? And it's like, well, we sent it in the email. Push yourself to maybe check it once a week, right? Or at least once more than you usually do. I would also say stay up to date. I know you all use Discord a lot. I don't know if I spelled that correctly, but check your Discord, right? Check whatever social media pages are associated with any organizations or any groups on campus. They're constantly posting different opportunities and different activities that are going on social media. So follow all of the CSULB pages, because they'll post scholarship opportunities, right? Internship opportunities, resource fairs, a lot of stuff will go on there. follow the pages, right? Get the info. Office hours. As an undergrad, it's scary. Well, at least for me, as an introvert, it was scary to go to office hours and talk to professors. Like, what are you supposed to talk about? Honestly, just ask them about the class. If you're ever having trouble in a class, it's just better to go speak to your professor, because then they know what's going on, as opposed to 2 weeks before the semester ends, you're not doing one. They're like, why'd you wait to come to tell me now? We could have maybe addressed this problem or these issues a little bit earlier, right? So go to office hours, stay in touch with your professor. If your professor is not being responsive, right, then we can look to see what to do after that, right? Because we want to make sure that lines of communication are always open and you're getting the help that you need in order to be successful, right? Because sometimes you don't even know of some options that are out there. And we're like, yeah, you could have done this, right? Or you could submit this appeal, or you can submit this petition. So it's best just to ask, right? Something else I always suggest is reach out to help with each other, right? Form study groups. I know Caminantes is one of their pillars is academics, right? So reach out to each other. If you are all going to be future educators, it's really great to start your network now. Some of you may have already taken courses, so you all can connect with each other on what those courses are, what the expectations are, what that professor is like. Maybe you shouldn't take it with that professor, take it with somebody else, right? So talk to each other, study together, especially if there's some exams you have to take together, like down the line, right? Go to resource centers, go to the writing center, go to tutoring, right? If you need some extra help in the class. There's so many resources on campus that are available that are maybe scattered in different places, but that offer things that you need, right? And if you're unsure of what type of help you need, come see us, right? Or come see me, or have Alexis ask me, right? Or we'll figure something out. And Alexis and Eric, sorry, I'm like, it's because I'm seeing Alexis on the screen and I'm just like, Alexis, right? Alexis or Eric or any of your other board members, right? Reach out to them, reach out to Jeremy, right? Reach out to Min. Just connect with each other, because there is help out there that is just waiting to be utilized. I would also say in terms of the academic end, you know, I don't know if a lot of you or most of you or some of you are first generation college attendees navigating the system for the first time. Family may not completely understand what it's like to be going to a 4-year, to commuting, right? The expectations, the commitment. So something I would suggest is communicating that with your family, letting them know, hey, you know, maybe I need to sit out this comida, right? Or I need to sit out this party on Saturday. It's gonna be okay, right? Like, this is only for 4 years. Or just share with them. And I promise if you share with them, they'll understand that maybe you just need that weekend to study and you can't make what you need to make, right? Or you need some extra help or support, right? Or you need this 1 hour of quiet time, right? Communicate with whatever space you're in, because it's important to set those boundaries. And we could have a whole nother workshop on what that would look like and what that is, especially in our homes, which would be a little bit difficult. So I am proposing a workshop on that. Maybe a café con caminantes, that would be a good one. But I know it's hard to set boundaries, but it can be helpful, right? Because it could help you stay accountable, and it doesn't seem like, it won't feel like you're disconnecting yourself from at home. They just have a better understanding of what you need to do, right? And what you're responsible for. And also set your boundaries at school, right? And when I was typing this, I was really thinking about, like, if you said you were going to go study from 2 to 3, go study from 2 to 3, but then give yourself a break, right? Boundaries also mean, like, giving yourself the time you need to recharge, right? And re-energize. So really being accountable to yourself, to what you need to be successful. And I know a lot of you also probably have jobs, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, right? And you have school and you have home responsibilities. So setting these boundaries will really help you to make sure that everything doesn't become overwhelming and mesh into one big thing, right? So like prioritizing, right? If you promised yourself that 5-minute break, take that 5-minute break, right? And this will become important along the line, you know, when you're prioritizing your jobs or other things like that. So it's really about reaching a balance, right? Reaching a balance with all of the different things that are happening in your life. And if you need to talk this out a little bit more, again, reach out to each other or reach out to a credential advisor, or if you maybe need a little bit more, and reach out to CAPS, right? These are all things that are on campus that are for service for you to make sure that you're successful at school, okay? Now, on the professional and extracurricular end, I would definitely encourage you all to step out of your comfort zone, to take that risk, to be more involved, right? If you saw that job that kind of made you a little bit excited, apply for the job. If you saw that internship listing, it's like, oh, that actually sounds like something I'd really want to do. Go for it, do it. I know there may be a little bit of imposter syndrome in us, or maybe like, I don't know if I have the qualifications, or I don't know if I have the time, or I'm not motivated. Just go for it. You never know what's going to come out of it, and it's most likely going to be something positive. I'm going to plug the peer mentor job again, right? Like, just go for it, apply for it. You'll meet people, right? You'll gain experience. You'll be able to put that stuff on your resume, which actually will matter, right? Down the line, when you apply for your first position out of college, having that experience as a student will honestly help so much, because it's like, oh, wow, like, this person has worked here this long, they must have people skills, right? If they're a server, right? When I look at resumes, I'm like, oh, this person worked at Starbucks. I was like, they must know how to deal with people and have good customer service, which is something that I'm looking for, right? So no job is wasted time. And especially if you can already do a work study job or any job here on campus, you'll get people to get to know you in those departments, which means you can start building connections. So I would say that's always a good idea. Being more involved, right? Just being in Caminantes, I think, is a great step to being involved, getting to know more people, broadening your network, right? Because as educators, you're all going to need yourselves, right? And those contacts will be helpful, right? Especially when you move on within your school, your districts, or maybe you do nonprofits, and then you're like, hey, I know Jeremy was really interested in this at the time, let me reach out to him, right? Or I know Isabel is now in graduate school and she's doing this, let me reach out to her, right? So the more involved you are, I honestly think the bigger the payout it is, and it's definitely worth it. Because I know sometimes we're trying to weigh, should I stay that extra hour to make that meeting or to make that event when you could be home and you could be relaxing, right? I would say take that risk, take that step out of your comfort zone and stay for that meeting, right? Stay for that event, right? It will be worth it. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. And I know Long Beach is in a like a commuter situation where folks maybe aren't here all the time, but that's why this makes it especially more important for you to shape the communities that you want to have. Right? Be part of the community that you want to be like, oh my God, like I have this space on campus, or I have these great group of people that I've met that make your time at Cal State Long Beach that much better. Because it's really easy to come do your coursework, pass your classes, and go home. Or you could come, take your classes, pass them, do great, meet people, be involved, make some change, right? Establish this new organization like the Caminantes did, and really be a part of something that's meaningful. And I know that's exactly what the Caminantes are trying to do, which is why my last slide is you and Caminantes, right? What does that mean for you this semester, this year? What are your expectations from an organization that is dedicated to education and to future educators, right? That has carved out a space for not just Latinx students, but all students that see themselves in a space like this. And what do you want to commit yourself to, right? And commitment can look different, right? Maybe you commit yourself to going to 2 events a semester. Maybe you commit to going to at least 3 meetings. Maybe you take a even bigger step and commit to a board position, right? Like I said, all of this is experience, and it's experience that's going to benefit you, and it's going to benefit those around you, because you have a lot to offer. You have your own experience that you can share with others, and people would be grateful for that, right? So you all are sharing and building community together. Community is not built with one person, and community is not built by just one team that's putting out these events if folks aren't showing up. So I really feel like you have to be part of that future and that community that you want to have, or you say that you want to have, right? It does take work, and it does take time, and it does take commitment, but it's worth it. And you have people here who've already invested so much time and energy into this, and they also need support, right? Because they're also students, and they're also holding down jobs, right? And they're taking time to put things on for you, because they're passionate about it and they want to see you there. So that's probably the biggest thing that I want you all to leave with here today, is the more you put into something, the more you'll get out of it, and it'll definitely help you down the line, and it'll make your experience here that much better. So that's my shameless plug for you being more involved, and definitely stepping up and putting in more time with Caminantes, right? With the College of Education, with CSULB, right? Even if Caminantes is not your thing, that's okay. You came, you tried it, you met some folks, but maybe you find a home somewhere else. That's okay. But definitely explore your options. There's so many, like I was just talking to someone earlier, there's people for everything. There's literally people for every interest that's out there. So, but Caminantes, I mean, I'm biased. I would say, why would you leave here? It's a great space. So that is what I have. I don't know if you all have questions for me that you want to be formally in the video or not. But that's what I got. I'm done.
Thank you, Gabby. That was awesome. Yay. I'm going to end the recording now. Okay.